Welcome to BlacksUSA.news morning show. I'm your host, William Honolulu Jr. Join us as we explore the news and opinions that impact our community. We break down how the major stories have a very personal, local, and racial impact. No topic is off limits, but even if the conversation gets rough, we're always going to keep it real. Greetings and salutations, all my friends out there in internet land. I am William Honolulu Jr., and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the host of the BlacksUSA.news morning show. I am really happy to be here today because guess what we got? Guess what we got? We got a returning guest, and not just any returning guest. We got Brittany Phillips because y'all remember I told you about her, and if you haven't entered the contest to get the help t-shirt, the green one, then you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I need you to get up on it. But you know what? I need to make sure that I got the little link on the thing because y'all need to. Here you go. Go and get this. So it's not just tickets. That's normally the website we use for tickets, but we also got this wonderful t-shirt from her, and we're going to help you get it. One of the reasons I'm excited to talk to Brittany is because she's actually out there doing the work. And that's a really big deal. We got a lot of people who mean well. They go out there and try to do something, but they're not as impactful. It's not the growth isn't there. And guess what? Not only is she an advocate for ending homelessness and addressing the issues, she's an author. She is a designer. She is a communicator. She's doing all the things out there. So you know what? Well, you know, I got to get through my show notes. I got to get these show notes because they're like, yo, you get too excited doing this stuff. You need to just go ahead and follow the script we give you and stuff. And I'll be like, how long have we been doing this? What makes you think that this time is going to be any bit different? You want me to not be excited? Because then just act like Britney is just regular people coming through the show and just talking about regular stuff. We ain't talking about helping people changing the trajectory of lives. I think that's disrespectful. And I will not be a part of it. But speaking of my team, gotta say a big shout out to Kyle Crazy Horse Morgan and Brandy Raymar, the producer and assistant producer, and big up to my new personal assistant, if we're gonna call her. I think it's like a one-on-one is what they call it in IEP parlance. But when you're a grown up and you're a professional person, it's not a one-on-one, it's a personal assistant. And so big ups to Grace Awake for always helping me stay focused and doing a random life human stuff. I'm sure Brittany will talk about this, but being an entrepreneur, especially when you're out there trying to help people, that is not easy. It is absolutely not. Because you get judged on your outcomes by people who ain't even putting input up. But you know what? Whoa. That's not, I don't know if she want to put people on blast like that because I don't really care if she wants to, because I am. Because some of you out there talk a really good game about, oh, we need to help or we need to support. But then when you see people like Brittany, you don't step up. Did you think I wasn't going to say that about you? Did you not realize where you clicked on to? Don't do that. Don't be disrespectful. But we got Brittany out here. She is doing the damn thing. Plus, I think she brought us a special guest too. You know what? I gotta read the show notes more. I can't be spoiling all the surprises. All right. So if y'all are interested, I am actually on meds today. So this is just natural. I'm just very excited. This is not because it's so funny. I get emails after some of the shows. It's like, have you been taking your meds? I'm like, yeah. I get excited. Why can't I be excited? What's wrong with a black man being excited? Oh, sorry. You see, we're going to have some fun today. But first, let me tell you a little bit about how I can help you with your business stuff. So listen to this. Hi, my name is William Honolulu Jr., and I'm the host of the BlacksUSA.news morning show and the president of the Grinding Gang Incorporated. The Grinding Gang is an organization that helps small business owners in the nonprofit and for-profit communities figure out how to make sense of all the noise. There's a lot of information out there, and sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. We help you develop business plans. We help you figure out what to do with a lot of the information you receive, and we also help you figure out how to become more profitable. We also host a variety of workshops. You can check out our next workshop on grant writing right here. So there you go. That's what we do at the Grinding Gang. That's how we try to help people. And I wanted to just play that one because it's my business and I'm proud of it. But the other side is just to make sure that you realize that it is rough out here. It's okay to feel overwhelmed at times because it's overwhelming. As an entrepreneur, you are making the same decisions that Jeff Bezos, as a one person shop, you're making the same decisions that Jeff Bezos has to do with Amazon, except that he has about 30 people to make each decision. You're doing it all by yourself. So provide yourself some grace, some mercy, and get some help from the Grinding Gang if you choose to. Well, all right. Let me see if there are any more show notes I need to do before I introduce Brittany. Because I don't want no trouble for my squad because they serious about their stuff. Okay, let's see. I hope I talked about that. Oh, big up to Donnie Glover, one of our sponsors. Donnie Glover, not just the founder of Be More News and BlacksUSA.news, but also the author of I Am Black Wall Street. It is an amazing book. Let's see if I can get you all a picture of the I Am Black Wall Street book. Do I have it? No, I don't think we have it anymore. All right, but y'all know what the Black Wall Street look. I Am Black Wall Street book, and what Donnie does is take a very different take on the Black Wall Street story. He doesn't just deal with how great it was and then what happened in the destruction of Black Wall Street, specifically in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He breaks down that there were multiple Black Wall Streets, and each one brought its own color and character to the conversation. But in each one, group of white people who didn't like what they had destroyed it. More than that, Donnie talks about how they got to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And it's a really good kind of blueprint or roadmap on some of the things that we can do to move ourselves forward, to move our communities forward in the modern day. Learn from what our ancestors did in the past. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, guess what we're gonna do? We about to go talk to Brittany. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Don't be here and not be ready because we about to bring Brittany on. Let's see if Brittany is here and waiting for us. It looks like, oh, there she goes. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for taking us. See, y'all don't understand how it is to be an entrepreneur on the grind. She pulled the car over so she could interview, let y'all know what's happening. She was like, she didn't hit the whole like, you know what, I'm gonna take care, call you back because I'm out in the world. She was like, nah, she on a mission and she like, I'm gonna get my mission done no matter where I'm at. Go ahead. Good. So for those of them who may have been under a bridge or don't know about the work that you're doing in the community, why don't you do me a favor and let them know? And if they haven't watched the Black USA News morning show, which is disrespectful on their behalf anyway, tell them who you are.
Well, my name is Brittany Phillips, and I am the proud founder and president of Help Nonprofit. Help stands for healing each other and loving our peeps, which is exactly what we are all about. Bringing back that whole village because it does take a village to raise a child, especially today with all this crazy social media. So, not only do we help our youth, but we also are working to support our homeless and veterans out on the streets, get them the resources that they need to become back part of, our communities and thriving in our communities. If we all help each other, we can all get to where we got to go. You know, teamwork make the dream work at the end of the day. But yeah, so it's 2 years in the game and growing. Got scholarships, other fundraisers and things that we do. Like Mr. Williams said, I'm an author and Lord said the same. Everything is gonna work the way that He has it planned. So I'm just looking forward to getting back out and doing as much as I can while I can.
See, this is how you know you're dealing with people who are on the grind regularly. Like she pulled her car over to do this interview, and she said she's gonna get back to doing as much as she can. You see what I'm saying? Like, but that's one of the things I want to highlight about how people who are really in the community, they look at it tend to like, if there's more work to be done, I'm not finished. You got a lot of people who roll in the community who are like, oh, well, I'm just gonna do this much, and if this ain't enough for you, then I hate it for you. You need to go holler at somebody else. And I want to draw these types of distinctions because it's easy to just lump everybody into, she just out there doing it, blah, blah, blah. But no, you need to understand that you aren't just one of these people that talk about it. You one of the people that be about it. Oh my God, I think you got a whole human. I told him that he had a special guest. Come on, you got to introduce a special guest. Hey!
Say, hey, Danny.
That
Yes,
is
that's
so
my little
awesome.
munchkin, my little
But
twin teaching her the ropes as well.
this is again when I talk about people on the grind. You're not just talking about it, you being about it. Real talk, because I had to take my kids with
Period.
me when I used to go out and do presentations and workshops, and that's part of the Black solopreneur experience. And I think a
Right.
lot of times that's not taken into consideration as people have these expectations about you building business. It's like they want you
Right.
to build business like you ain't got a kid, but if your kid isn't taken care of, then now you a horrible mother.
Exactly.
So okay,
Yeah.
I get it. You know what? This is another show note. They say like, don't tell the person's whole story because I get excited. I'll be like, y'all need to know this about her. Y'all need to know that about her. Let me tell you what she did.
Let's
Let me tell you what her
go.
book was. Gotta relax a little
Let's
bit. So I know you have a documentary coming out. I know you are doing more work. And another thing I want to give you a big shout out to, and I apologize, I'm not your publicist, but I
hey,
appreciate
do the
seeing good
thing.
people doing work. You know what I mean? And so
Appreciate it.
one of the things that you all need to also understand about Brittany is that she will ask you for money. And not that you should avoid her because of that, you should celebrate her because of that. Because I know a lot of nonprofit people who are there, oh, I want to do, but I ain't gonna ask nobody for money. Hopefully, when they see me doing good work, I'm
Mhm.
going. But again, Brittany is the type of woman that puts herself outside of her comfort zone so that she can get the resources that are necessary to transition people's life. Okay, I did it again. I just keep talking. Okay, we
Absolutely.
11 minutes in, and I've
Absolutely.
done most of the talking. I apologize. They are going to dig in my. Oh, you got a whole little kid. They're gonna dig in my butt a lot when they see this. They're gonna be like, why again? Why are you still talking? Like you're talking about still talking. Like stop talking.
Yes,
Okay,
I
go ahead, Brittany.
agree. Let's
Tell
get
them
it.
about your. I'm excited. I'm excited about the book too. So we're gonna get to the documentary. I swear we're gonna get to the documentary.
Yeah.
Tell them about the book because I think the book started is like the place that laid the foundation for all the stuff that you've done, right?
It definitely is. I have two actually. I didn't get a chance to send you guys the first one. I'm ordering some more of those. But
Okay.
I have two books. The first one I started when I was 15 years old, basically
Mhm.
because I was at a point where I was just like, I'm tired of people always like, you can reach your dreams, you can reach for the stars, you can do all this and that. But it's like, okay, how? You're not really telling me how. You're telling me I can do it all day, but you're not from my hood. You're not from my area. You're not from my upbringing. I don't have the same resources that everybody else has. So again, how am I supposed to do this? So I took it upon myself to figure it out. So I wrote and self published my first
Mm.
book. Then I wrote and self published my second book in documentary. The first one is called Opinions of Young Mature Minds, and it's
Mhm.
basically
Mm.
just about life from my perspective, other people in that similar area and age range, and also poetry that related to the different topics we talked about. And a quick story behind that, I was so
Okay.
fortunate with Houston Area Urban League to get to perform one of my poems for Cicely Tyson. So that was an experience in
Oh
itself, being in
wow.
high school, getting to do that. So, those are the type of things I'm working to build with my nonprofit to give these kids those type of opportunities. And the second book, How Did You Get
Mm.
Here, is kind of a second branch onto that, but where not only did I talk about some of the things that again I experienced and stuff, but I wanted to interview other people that kids can see and that look like them that are actually helping them and telling them and showing them some of the different things they did to get to where they are with the same background, with the same histories, same skin color and so forth. Not only are they talking about it, but they're showing you how to get there, trying to educate each other the way that we need. Takes that village. Learning from our ancestors, like you said earlier, so we can do what we have to do now.
Yeah. She because she like
She's talking about she
and
want to
tell her more.
share. Yes, ma'am.
Teamwork make
But
the dream work. Oh, you mentioned the Houston area ups urban league. I had to give a big shout out to Judson Robinson, who's the president out there, and my man, 100 grand, Eric Goody. Eric Goody is one of the best business consultants that I have seen in quite a long time. So big ups to them, and also for organizations that do the support. You know what I mean? Like, because it's a really big deal for people to have the resources and access so they can achieve their dreams. So that's really cool. Yes, wanted to say big shout out to Judson Robinson, president out there. good dude, but my man, 100 grand, Eric Goody, he is one of the best business consultants I've ever had the opportunity to come across. And on top of everything else, he's a genuine dude who really does care about the Houston area community. He's in charge of the Entrepreneurship Center and the vice president over there. So, but this is also one of the things that is important and that you talk about a lot in your journey, like we talked about the last time, is that how you are really working heavily to connect people to resources. And I think using your life as an example, like all of these connections led you beyond your circumstance into where you are now and where you're taking other people. And so, like you said before, dream work makes the team work. Teamwork makes the dream work. The other way. There you go. Right? And you here disrespecting the whole saying and be like, oh, he's not smart. He said it wrong. All right. So those are your books. They'll get it twisted. She said books with the S at the end, okay? Started at 15.
And more to come. Yes.
It's when I tell you I know dope, and again, I ain't even gonna take credit for her being dope like that. Like I screened it like she's a guest that came on, and big up to Brian Olds from Black Speakers Network. Who put us together. Brian knows some amazing people, and he is always willing to share them with me, and I am always grateful. So it is grateful to. I am happy to meet people who are changing lives. Okay, all right. So we got the books, we got the nonprofit. There's several other things you do. So which one you want to talk? Which one do you want to talk about? You want to move to the documentary now, or do you want to get some of the other stuff you do out the way so we can finish the documentary? Again, I'm with you.
We do. I don't know if you remember, but I also host my own show podcast, Real Talking Relationships with B. So we had took a pause for a minute, but we're definitely getting ready to come back with a bang, switching things up, doing a little bit different. And it really does kind of pretty much coincide with everything that we're doing. I love helping and being able to give back and just do my part, how I can for my community. So I also love using the show, as part of that, helping other local people that are, trying to get out there, other starters, even if they're already successful, whatever the case may be. How can we help each other to get to where we're supposed to get to help rebuild our communities, to provide these jobs and opportunities for our kids? Like, as a teacher, oh my goodness. Yeah, I started working at a daycare, Lord Jesus, and baby, God got the right one for the job. Do you understand? Like, these kids weren't ready for me, but I'm ready for them, and they got the right one for the job, because I'm just like, I see where it's coming from. Why, when we do get to elementary, middle school, or high school, we're having these same issues. It's starting with the babies. Like, people are underestimating them and not, really appreciating their intelligence and what they bring to the table. And at the end of the day, it's a child. This is the age where they're learning and molding to become these people, to not be on the streets, to become our politicians and whatever else we need. But we can't think that them up here acting a fool, cussing, and all this other stuff is cute and cool, but they don't even know their own name when they see it on a piece of paper. They don't know their ABCs. They don't know they don't know colors. They don't know shapes. Like, this is a problem. It starts somewhere, and we got to do something about it.
One of the things, I look at the problem, especially in education, as part of the continuum. It is so multifaceted, and it is not just about education, but education is also one of these cornerstones, and especially in the Black community. And so you end up in a situation where parents don't have the resources to invest in their kids, not just talking about money, because everybody, we just have more. It's not money.
Right.
There is an amount of time that matters.
You better say that.
If there's a difference in the experience. So my kids, we've always been well-to-do and solidly middle class. My kids have always been solidly middle class. What that meant is that they could go to a good school that was close to the house, and that we were home more often than if we worked 2 or 3 jobs. Well, she was home. Let me not even front. I was in the streets in the community. Oh, we're gonna save everybody. I can't be home yet. I gotta go on the same with some more people. That's also why I'm divorced. Now, separate issue. That's a different show. But they were always solidly middle class. But what it also meant is, because of the resources we had, is that we had time to talk about homework. Because I wasn't on a bus for 2 hours trying to get home, and then when I get home, just trying to feed you real quick and stuff like that, and put you to bed so you can get enough sleep, so I can go take care of some house stuff. then go to
Right.
bed, less time than you, wake up, then make sure you're ready to get there. That
Exactly.
2 extra hours not commuting
Makes
impacted
a
my
difference.
kids exponentially because every hour I
Absolutely.
spent was more time. The earlier I spent that time, the more planted the seeds so they can
Yep.
grow. And so a lot of what you're talking about absolutely does happen to kids in these lower grades, but it's not because of them. It's not because of the teachers. It's because of the entire system does not want them to be successful. But
Exactly.
we, and I would defer to you because this is your area of expertise. But I have seen some people whose entire existence is predicated on the fact that there is homelessness that exists.
Hmm.
Their entire existence is that they make so much money on the fact that students can't be successful, so they can bring in professional development and intervention resources. If
Exactly.
these, if these kids ever got successful, not only would these companies go out of business instantly, but they don't even have transferable skills to do anything else with. They've
Hmm.
made their entire business model on the fact that kids have issues.
Right. Exactly.
She said she got issues because we can fix those too. What you talking about? Don't get us started here.
Look,
We help the
she
little
want
people
her
too.
nana.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Do you? Oh, you in Houston? I was like, do you have an extra banana? Because I could really, I could really use one. So tell her she
Hello.
started something because now I'm sitting here like after we get off, I'm gonna go to the grocery store because I ain't even got no bananas in the house.
Look, she definitely got snacks and stuff.
That's one of the beautiful things I remember about having kids. So let me tell you this. I got so addicted to Gerber's animal crackers. They don't even make the recipe ain't even the same anymore. But so when my kids were little, I would get the Gerber's,
I
because we
understand.
try to feed them good, and
Right.
then I ate one and they were covered in honey. Oh my god. It was like a Lorna Doone with
Around.
honey on it. So when I would go to the store afterwards, I'd get them stuff and then get like a little bag for me on the side. Like, okay, here, this is mine.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
feel you.
I remember my kids when they were little. That's funny.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, so we got that. You got all the stuff doing. Okay, I know we get off topic and again, big up to the Houston Urban League. All right, so I'm looking at my show notes. Oh, what's that?
Lunchable.
Oh,
Look,
what fun!
we eat. We eat over here. I gotta keep
God, I
some
need to
little
hang out
snacks
with
on
y'all
deck.
more often. Now you damn. All right, so okay, let's talk about the documentary. Let's talk about it. Tell me about it. Let's just go ahead because I get excited. I'm about to start talking about what I've seen already, and that's disrespectful. Go ahead.
So yeah, the documentary is pretty much the to go along with the second book of How Did You Get Here.
Hmm.
So we interviewed I want to say maybe it was about 5 or 6 individuals, and I threw my little 2 cents in there. But basically, talking about their stories, where they are now, how they came up, the different, their own personal backgrounds, advice for young people today. What are some different things that they wish they would have done if they were, we got that saying of if I would have known back then, type. So really, not only having the book to go with it, but a visual to see and to listen and to coincide and really give them that encouragement and that boost to you don't have to just be an athlete. You don't have to just be a rapper. You don't have to, just be those things that they put us in a box of as our only
Yeah.
way of success and getting out of the hood.
And this is specifically designed like I've seen some of it. Y'all don't even know what y'all in for. But I've seen some of it, and it's not just talking about like, oh, let's just have a conversation with you about all the highlights and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It really digs deep into each person's profile. Like literally,
Yeah.
how did you get here from the hood to where you are? Good, bad, and indifferent.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm looking forward to getting to do another one, a part two, soon. Lord say the same. And again, just more people that look like us with different stories from these different backgrounds. Like our kids need it today. It's so unfortunate that they really look and turn to social media and their friends as if they know anything. Like y'all learning too. Y'all are
Ooh.
still kids. Y'all, and then everything that's on social media doesn't mean that it's true or that it's fact. But that's what they're growing up with, so that's what they believe. And when I don't have mommy or daddy or uncle, auntie, cousin, nobody to talk to, I'm only gonna believe what I see, what I'm hearing, what I
Oh
think is right.
no, I think it may be even worse than that. I think it's worse than that. Let me tell you why I think it's worse than that. Because you said that they don't have mommy, daddy, and auntie and them to talk to. I think sometimes the problem is the things that mommy, daddy, and auntie say are the
That's
same
true.
that social at the dark part of
Yep,
social media
that's
says.
true.
Like I had a friend of mine who's a teacher, and the mother came in at third quarter because she wasn't in because she had some health issues and she was out for the first couple semester or first couple quarters. They had a substitute. She came in halfway through the third quarter and now it's into the fourth. And in the third quarter, when she came back, the chick wasn't doing work because they hadn't had to do work for 2 quarters. And so she was like, well, she hasn't done the work, so she's going to get a zero. Mother came up there. When I tell you, she came up there cussing everybody out. Like she cussed my friend out over
Wow.
Zoom because she ain't in the building. So she cussed her out over Zoom. And how everybody's gonna do this, and she's gonna go to Fox 45 and blah blah blah. Fast forward about 6 weeks, the daughter realizes that in one of the other classes, she had not done well the first 2 quarters. They had a substitute third, so she was getting a better grade. The problem is that those first 2 quarters were jamming her up and she may not graduate. So then all of a sudden she went around everybody. Y'all need to do this. Y'all need to do that. I'm going to do the work. Y'all got to grade it. Because if I don't get a degree, I'm not going to do anything. I can't take another year, blah, blah, blah. I have a kid. And basically was like, look, my entire life is going to go to hell if you do not accept some random work that I do. And they tried to explain to the girl and said, hey, you can't just do the work. You have to get it right to show mastery. She did
Right.
29 assignments in 3 hours. I think she got like the highest grade she got on was like 12%.
Wow.
Because a lot of them are looking at this is just checklists. Actually, another way to your
Mhm.
point about not
Yep.
being able to educate students and the reason why your work is so important in catching them early. Had another
Yep.
guy when I worked in the school. I was walking through the school with one of the assistant principals, and there was this kid who walked the hallways for years. Like literally, that's what he came to school to do.
That's what he did.
And I tried to intervene, but at a certain point, you tell them to go, and you don't. And the district doesn't back you up in suspensions because they don't want those numbers and stuff like that. And again, I get the theory behind that at one point the school system was just suspending black boys and that was leading to a problem. But
Mhm.
doing the exact opposite is never the answer either. So him walking
Exactly.
through the
You gotta
school and
figure
walking
it
through the
out.
halls, it was like his third year at the school. And the assistant principal was like, what are you doing? Why you even come here, Walker Day? You were never going to graduate because you don't go to class. He's like, I'm going to graduate next year. She was like, how you going to graduate with no credits? He's like, I've been here 3 years. She's like, yeah, but you don't have any credits. What you need credits for?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
For him, school was like a jail sentence. All you got to do is make it your 4 years. Once you make it the 4 years, you get a
He
diploma.
was gonna graduate.
And,
No, it's
and
gotta be
looking
smart.
and talking to some of the members of his family, I can see where he got that from.
All right.
But this is, to your point, part of the underlying issue. The infrastructure isn't there. The support isn't there at the early stages because
Mhm.
the parents don't know.
Yep.
If you got, like me, you got raised during the crack epidemic when it first hit, you might not have a mama or a grandmama to talk to.
Yeah.
Exactly. You might not even have that
Yep.
because they might have got caught up in the crack epidemic. So who was
Mhm.
there to teach you? You literally raised yourself. Latchkey kids were really big. And so why would we
Right.
expect a latchkey kid who got raised by TV, 80s and 90s TV? So there wasn't even good TV. It wasn't even good. So you got raised by G.I. Joe, Transformers, My Little Pony, and the Care Bears.
Oh
They were doing
man.
social promotion and hadn't caught it yet. So you got promoted through.
Yep.
What resources do you have to help your kids? You
Yep.
doing the best
Exactly.
you can because you don't know no better.
Exactly.
And that's why, again, I get so excited to talk to you and people like you who are out there teaching better. Like you can have something different because the reality is some people don't even recognize that there can be different.
Yeah. That's
If I've been
scary
homeless
part.
or unstably housed, if my mother and father were homeless and unstably housed,
Yep.
if their parents, Why would
Well,
I? And then you come here, Miss Out Not From My Community. You come here, Miss Two Parent Household, and you come here talking all this yin yang about you can be whatever you want. The
let me show
reality
you.
is that in my world, the only people who can be whatever they want are the rich people. Donald Trump could be president no matter how much he cheated or lied because he didn't come from
Hmm.
our hood. And I think your
Exactly.
documentary is really important because it says to them like, "Yo, your hood don't matter, bro. Since you can
Exactly.
be more than your hood, it's going to take more for you to do." Real talk. And that was another part I liked about what you all did. It wasn't like Pollyanna and everybody could just do whatever and there'll be no option. It was
No,
like, oh
we're gonna
no,
give you the
it's rough
real.
out here. So I'm sorry. You know what? Next time I'm just gonna have a picture of you beside me so I can just talk about you as much as I want to talk about you.
Look, I'm
It's like
coming up there.
I'm sitting
I
here
am
looking
coming
at you
up
like, why is
there.
she not talking? And it's like, yo, because you won't shut up. I was like, but she does so many awesome things. I'm trying to tell the people. Like, but she's here so she can tell the people. So you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and mute my whole damn mic. I'm just gonna mute. Take it away.
Okay.
You know what? Let's be honest, because they've seen me do this before, so they're not tricked. I'm gonna mute my mic, and then as soon as you say something wonderful, I'm gonna turn it back. I'm gonna try
Something
not to
wrong.
this time. I'm gonna try not to. Go ahead. Talk about the documentary and talk about like the philosophy about it. Like, how did you get to again? Y'all need to buy the book too. No spoilers, but
Absolutely.
how did this come together? Like, actually that's one of the things I wanted to know. I'm just excited about it. Sorry, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna mute it now. Go ahead.
Well, it was really so this was back when I was still in college at Prairie View. Shout out to PV. Woo woo. So, man, I going to Prairie View really confirmed to me that again, college isn't for everybody. But college is about experiences. I ain't gonna lie to you. I remember some of the schoolwork, but I remember more about the networking, the opportunities, the meetings, the program. I remember more of all the other stuff that helped me to become who I am than me going to class. So, it's not so much always about just that part because at the same time, when you get out of school, most of us can't even use our degrees for the fields we went to. It's all about, oh, I knew such and such and such, so let me call him up. Oh, he know this person. All right, plug, whoop, whoop, whoop. Now I got, somewhere where I can get this experience to go along with this degree I done went to school for and can't even really use. So that, all of that really played a major part. And again, I can tell you all day. And even then, someone had showed me and put me in touch with the people who I connected with to write my book. So I'm gonna pass this same knowledge along. Like, okay, well, this is how I did it. This is X, Y, and Z. You need some help? Call me up. I'll try to help you how I can. But again, not only am I gonna tell you, let me show you. Let me put it together and give it to you. And I'm really looking forward to even now still taking it to different schools, elementary, middle schools, high schools, to show these kids to make that difference. Because I mean, again, if my parents can only give me what they have, how am I gonna know that it's anything different or anything better if nobody's willing to take a risk on me? And that was one of the most frustrating things as a teacher, how some teachers can be so negative toward kids. Like they forget it is a child. This child is only doing what they have been allowed to do for so long. How can you be so cruel and so negative to a child? It ain't, of course we have decisions and we make choices, but at the end of the day, they only did what they had, what they could with what they had. So unless you're going to step up to the plate and help make a difference, you can't continue to complain about a situation without coming up with a solution. I'm all about solutions. So my solution was, let me make this documentary. So not only again can I tell you, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna help you put this together. You want connections? Anytime I host, networking events or things like that, I always try to make some kind of booklet or pamphlet or something to where here's all the people who were a part of this. Here's all of whatever, whatever. If you need this, here are some connections. Here are some people that look like us that we can support to get back to where we came from. I would love to have Black Wall Street again. Oh my goodness. Like that would mean so much and be so different for these kids. It's amazing how intelligent we are, and people they don't want to give us credit for it. They always want to take our ideas and try to polish them up, but the world wouldn't exist without Black folks. We just don't, what I'm saying. It was other people too, but we are
Other people,
innovators. We
other
are
people.
creators.
See, I tried to go as long as I have. Been taking notes feverishly here, not interrupting. But like you took it too far. You said too much good stuff. Damn it! Gotta say something about it. I was all excited. Like, no, don't say it. Don't say it. Calm down. Calm down. One of the things you hit on is a central tenet of kind of my philosophy about Black people and the engagement. Actually, all the stuff you said, like, since is like within the overarching philosophy. The first is we don't come from a capitalistic society. Even bartering is not part of our natural existence, or at least the way that Adam Smith and the capitalist white economists have described bartering. That's never been us. If you want to take a look at what bartering looks like in the Black community, think about the cookout, where everybody in the family, nobody has a lot.
Exactly.
But everybody brings a little, and not only is the cookout off the chain, everybody is full, and you get to take stuff home. Now,
okay, you got leftovers.
But here's the difference between the way the Black people and the gift economy and the capitalism, that even the bartering and capitalism is different. This is central. If you go to the cookout, and let's say you bring 20 pounds of macaroni and cheese, but I only bring 10 pounds of potato salad. And by the way, because potato salad is special in Black communities, I am qualified to cook potato salad. So that's first and foremost, I am qualified.
Same here.
Okay.
Let's go.
But let's say I bring 10 pounds and then you bring 20 pounds. If you're in the if you are in the if you're at the cookout and you're like, why did William only bring 10 pounds? Everybody's gonna look at you like you the ass. Like, why are you saying that? We all here for family. This is all cookout. And so even in our commercial pieces, it is an opportunity for us to recognize that the gift economy is where we naturally fit. And what you're talking about is, how do we come together to gift each other? Not even on the whole, let me get some money, let me do this, let me try to monetize everything. It is, how do we love and support each other? So go ahead. You got something going on. Go ahead and handle that, because this is the part where I just see. I'm glad you're talking to somebody else, because now they can't say there's a reason why I can't be talking and just saying what I want to say, because now I'm excited and stuff. You see what you did? You got me started.
You know, like you said, I was in the car, so I was picking on my daughter, so my aunt just saw us sitting in the car. I was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "I'm on the interview."
But that is part of the reality of entrepreneurship. This is what I'm talking about, because in capitalism, it'd be like, oh my gosh, she has her kids there. That's so disrespectful. Like, this is business. Why are you involving family and business stuff? Oh, so unprofessional. And then you have one spaghetti scraps. Oh my God, how can you even do this? Are you really a business?
Right.
And in the Black community, like, who man is this? Do you know him? If you know him and you say he good, then okay, I don't care what you got on. Now, I joke you about what you got on. Don't get it twisted. But if somebody vouches for you, I got that. The next thing you said, and this is a really touchy subject for the show, because we do recognize that education can be a way out of poverty and a way out of these circumstances. It is not a panacea. But one of the things that you talked about that I think is missing in modern education is this concept that kids are kids. You think about what other mammal, not even humans, culture, mammal, that requires their young just to sit still unless it's safety or food. Now, if we hunting a gazelle and you a baby cat, no, be quiet, we're going to eat.
Okay.
Or if we are the gazelle, it's like, shh, get some tigers over there. We're going to get eaten.
Okay, we got to be quiet.
But every other species, they get excited when their kids explore. Their pups, their kittens, their whatever. The exploration is part of the maturation process. For us, it is not. For us, what kids have to do is sit down, be quiet, seen, not heard. I talked to a guest, one of the candidates for Central Committee, and one of the things we talked about was in the same vein, because, politics, kids, everybody want to talk about saving the kids. One of the things we talked about was how she said that many of the kids now just seem to be so traumatized, and they just, everything makes them cry and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa. Things made me cry, but when I was little too, like, I would get upset, except that I did not have the safe space to actually even explore those emotions. I was stop crying. You better man up. You better suck that stuff up. And you probably heard this one, Brittany. Don't make me have to give you something to cry about.
Let me give you a reason to cry.
But what that did is that It has stunted my emotional growth and my even ability to conceive of how to deal with negative stuff, and it limited my empathy in relationships. Because
Yep.
now
And
I don't
you
know
know,
how to help
men ain't
you.
supposed to have feelings. Men ain't
Not
supposed to
just
cry.
not just that, but I don't know how to help you process with yours. I think you should just go talk to
Right.
one of your girlfriends. You want to eat something? You want to have sex? You want something to drink? Like, what is it?
And that's
Because
not
again, my job is to help you suck it up.
right. Get
But
past
what
and get over.
but what you're talking about is engaging them differently. You're talking
Mm-hmm.
about engaging like this is an experience. This is an exposure, and what you're doing is even better. Not only are you providing them the information and support to handle conflict and things in this emotional developmental
Yeah.
space, but you're giving them an opportunity to see what happens on the other side. So as they navigate these spaces and as they see these role models, like, wait, I don't have to just wild out and hit people when I get angry. And like one
Nope.
young lady when I
Look,
worked in the school, go ahead.
I was like, that just reminded me so, like, especially the last 3 years, my students will tell you, choices, choices, choices. I said it so much. I can say it one time and they'll finish it off. They already knew, like, I'm not here for the excuses. I'm not here for the well this is what at the end of the day it was a choice. You knew what you was gonna do. You knew the what the consequences of your actions. So at the end of the day it's all about choices. Now
Yep.
that you've made this choice and you had this consequence, your next choice again, what you gonna do? You still have choices.
Now
Period.
that is a wonderful philosophy. The next I would suggest though, just working with kids before, make sure that they understand that understanding the consequences does not invalidate the responsibility for the decision. Because
Yeah.
what I'm
Oh
feeling
yes, Lord.
is like, oh, I didn't mean for that to happen, so it's okay. I could do this again because I didn't mean. No, no, no. I don't give a damn what you
Oh,
mean. The consequences flow from the
oh.
choice. Your intent does not
Right.
mitigate the impact. It may mitigate
Mhm.
your consequences. That is true. Like if you hit me
Right.
if you're throwing a ball just playing and hit me in the face by accident, it doesn't stop the
Right.
fact that now I may have to have some kind of surgery or whatever, but it may
Uh-huh.
make it different the consequences or my response to you. And I think
Right.
that that is a really big difference that a lot of children don't get because they're like, well, I didn't
Yep.
mean for it to hurt, so why are you mad? Because
Right.
it hurt.
Because it still hurt. It
Not
still
because you
happened.
meant to. You were not in trouble necessarily because that you intended the consequences,
Right.
but sometimes the consequences just flow. Like if I leave the house when I think it's going to be sunny and I leave without an umbrella, it doesn't matter what I thought, what I intended, what I want. I'm going to
Right.
be wet when I get back.
Yep. Exactly.
So you said a whole
And
bunch
I
more things too.
totally
You got
agree.
me a list and shit. I gotta go through this. Ooh, the stepping up to the plate.
Yes.
And again, give you big props on this because you don't just talk about people stepping up to the plate, you model that behavior. Like I said, it ain't nothing for me to see you on the internet with your cash app, like we trying to do this for these people. Y'all need to go ahead and get up off that cash
Let's
because we need to
go.
help these people. It is nothing for me to see you on social media, be like, hey, make sure y'all go to support this event, or hey, this person needs something and stuff like that. And that is still part of that gift
Absolutely.
economy. Like nobody's giving you money for that. Well, I mean, before I just jump out here and start
No,
assuming.
they
But
not.
okay,
They
okay.
not. It's all
That would have been
smart.
horrible. I'd be like, ain't nobody, no, they give me a lot of money. I was like, oh no, you're not who I thought you was. I apologize. That's my fault. Disrespectful. But that's
No,
my point. Like
all
nobody is
smart.
monetizing and nobody is. But and even the money that you're collecting is like we're collecting it to help these people.
Exactly. Still run right back out.
And that
Mhm.
is what stepping up to the plate looks like. Stepping up to the
Absolutely.
plate, while there is a place for us to go to meetings and make sure our voices are heard and stuff like that, is
Mm.
cool, but the action changes lives.
Exactly.
And you change lives.
Actions
That's
speak
okay.
louder.
One more,
Actions
one
speak
more,
louder.
one more. You got me working here, boy. Like I'm here sweating and everything. I'm excited. The last
Hello.
thing we talked about was the issue around white supremacy. And you didn't mention it outright that way. But when you look at these things that are happening to communities of color, these lack of resources, these social structures, it is the ultimate in gaslighting. We don't give you resources, then blame you for not having success.
Exactly.
We demand from poor people a level of discipline, a level of control that we take from no one else. Who I've been with like CEOs, not like me CEO because it's me and I'm the only person here CEO. I'm talking about like I got 500 employees. I'm CEO. I've seen them lose their freaking mind because they haven't had coffee that morning. And then they act out in meetings.
Mm-mm.
But an employee, the janitor, he needs to, hello, sir, how's it going every day?
Right.
We believe that power of money gives you a pass. You know what? I would say I would never grab anybody by the pooter, but that's not true. I do it consensually. But I know if I was running for office and I said I'm gonna grab them, and I will not win. I don't care if I'm running for dog. I don't care if the job is to grab them by. I'm not
Okay.
gonna run because that's what I said. But because he's a white man,
Mm-hmm.
well, orange man, like he could get away with saying it and become president afterwards.
Exactly.
That is part of the challenge that people don't understand, that black people, especially black women, deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Misogyny is a very real thing. And if we
It's
are
very
not on
bad.
the forefront to make sure that it's not good enough to be anti race, it's not good enough to just not be racist yourself. It's not good enough to turn your that's actually how we got here. Because it was
Mm-hmm.
bad. There were people who were active, and then there were people just like, well, I'm not gonna hurt it. I'm not gonna stand in your way, but I'm not gonna help. That was wonderful.
Right.
I appreciate you not being an impediment. But at this point, at this point in America, we are at the Germany Holocaust point. It is either you are on the side of righteousness or you are evil. At
Exactly.
this point, the lines have been, the divide is so big.
Oh yeah.
And it becomes incumbent of us, regardless of whether you're politically active or not. Because are you politically active? Like, do you go and run campaigns and do all that kind of stuff too?
Not run campaigns, but I actually have reached out to a few people that I've learned about recently, just kind of trying to start learning more about that so that I can, figure out what's my part and do that part. I do vote and I do, advertise to vote. So I'll do that much, but I haven't really, because again, that's something else in our community. We didn't grow up talking about politics and politicians and,